1975's airwaves were packed with Elton, Zeppelin, and disco just warming up.
Baby, you should. All that glitters is gold.
Yet a batch of singles flashed bright and faded quick. We dug up 14 of those one-hit wonders, each a song you heard once in the car, sang all week, then somehow lost.
Joey, run, Joey, run.
Number 1, Chevy Van, Sammy John's 1975.
She's gonna love me in my Chevy van, and that's alright with me.
Sammy Johns cut the track at GRC Studios in Atlanta during a slow Thursday night in July 1973. He sang and played a worn Martin D28 with a folded towel under the strings to deaden extra ring. Engineer Rodney Mills ran the guitar into an EMT plate for the twilight echo that fills every pause. A Moog bass set one octave below the upright gave the low end a soft thump without rattling the coffee cups on the console. GRC put the single out regionally that fall, but it stalled. Most southern stations said a lyric about shag carpet in the back of a van needed at least one wedding ring.
Her long legs were tan and brown.
The song sat on the shelf until the 17th of February 1975, when Los Angeles DJ Bob Ray pulled the dusty 45 from a station giveaway box, spun it during a rain delay, and lit up the phones. GRC scrambled, pressed fresh copies, and shipped them nationwide on the 24th of February. Billboard's bubbling under list showed Chevy Van at number 110 on the 8th of March. By the 17th of May, it parked at number 5 on the Hot 100 and passed 1 million U.S. sales in 12 weeks. An RIAA gold disc for a song that never mentions a last name. Chevy dealers reported a 6% bump in van inquiries that summer, though nobody could prove the single closed any deals. Canada nudged the record to number 4 on the RPM 100. The UK shrugged and left it at number 97 on import sales. Johns never cracked the top 40 again, but he did license the tune to a 1977 drive-in movie, also titled Chevy Van. Today, original GRC stock copies fetch good money at car show swap meets, usually sold by someone who still knows every word, gear shift included.
Took me by the hand. She's gonna love me in my Chevy van, and that's alright with me.
Number 2, Sky High, Jigsaw, 1975.
I gave you love. I thought that we.
Clive Scott and Des Dyer wrote Sky High for the Australian martial arts film The Man from Hong Kong and flew to Bradley's barn outside Nashville in February 1975 to record it. Cheaper studio rates and plenty of steel guitar amps lying around. Producer Chaz Peets asked session man Russ Stableford to double the bass line an octave up so the chorus would bounce like a trampoline. Dyer laid the falsetto hook in one breath, then overdubbed a second harmony because the first sounded too polite. The UK single landed on the 10th of May 1975 and glided to number 4 by early June. Chelsea Records picked it up for the United States on the 15th of August. KHJ Los Angeles and WLS Chicago slid the track between the Bee Gees and Bad Company, and by the 29th of November, it reached number 3 on the Hot 100 with nearly 1 million U.S. singles pressed. Japan liked it even more after Nippon Columbia issued a picture sleeve 45. The song hit number 2 on Oricon and stayed in karaoke books for decades. In 1990, it popped back onto the Japanese chart at number 12 after pro wrestler Tiger Mask used it as ring walk music, proof a solid key change can dodge retirement. Back home, Jigsaw followed with Love Fire, which peaked at number 30 UK and missed the US chart completely. The band broke up in 1983, but Sky High still drifts over roller rink speakers and pops up in movie trailers searching for instant sunshine. Original US promo copies, stamped from the film The Man from Hong Kong, turn up at record shows, often bought by fans who have never seen the movie but can still belt the chorus while hunting the next bargain bin. Number 3, How Long? Ace, 1975.
But I can't help but have my
Paul Carrick wrote the song after spotting bassist Terry Comer moonlighting with another band. Less broken hearts, more bruised ego. Ace cut the track at Rockfield Studios, Monmouth, in July 1974. Carrick played a Wurlitzer 200A through a cranked Vox amp for the chunky intro. Guitarist Phil Harris added a sunburst Telecaster part so smooth it sounded like Carrick's apology note. Anchor Records issued the single in Britain on the 1st of November 1974, where it climbed to number 20. Across the Atlantic, ABC shipped the record on the 10th of February 1975 with a promo sticker that read "Blue-Eyed Soul from London Pubs." WLS Chicago rotated it every 4 hours. By the 17th of May, it sat at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, and thanks to a burst of late-night call-ins, hit number 1 on the Cashbox chart for 1 week. Canada matched the U.S. peak, while Australian radio nudged it only to number 24 after programmers decided the lyric's subject wasn't romantic enough. Carrick accepted an Ivor Novello Award for Best Pop Song that May, joking, "The tune proved jealousy pays." Ace's follow-up single stalled at number 87 in the States, and the group folded in 1977. Carrick resurfaced with Squeeze, Tempted, and later Mike and the Mechanics, The Living Years. But How Long remains the tune that made American listeners learn the name of a London pub rock band they never actually saw live.
Offensive persuasion, don't admit that it's part of a scheme.
Number 4, Jackie Blue, Ozark Mountain Daredevils, 1975.
Jackie Blue lives her life from inside of her room.
Bass player Larry Lee wrote the melody in a Springfield, Missouri basement, humming nonsense syllables over a soft backbeat, until producer Glenn John suggested turning it into a character sketch. Lee's original lyric followed a restless male friend who likes staying up all night, but John sensed AM radio would warm faster to a mysterious woman. Pronouns flipped, and Jackie became the neighborhood enigma who lives her life from inside a room. Recording took place at Quadraphonic Sound Studios in Nashville on the 15th of October 1974. Keyboardist Steve Cash laid down the dreamy electric piano hook on a Wurlitzer 200A, filtered through a spring reverb for extra shimmer.
What's a game, girl, if you never lose?
Guitarist John Dillon added those sliding acoustic fills on a beat-up Gibson J50, rumored to have lost 2 tuning pegs during the session. Johns mixed the master 3 days later, reportedly leaving an audible floor creak at 2 minutes 17 seconds, whether by accident or design. No one's sure. ABC Records released the single on the 21st of January 1975. Midwest FM giants KXOK St. Louis and WLS Chicago jumped first. By the 10th of May, Jackie Blue sat at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, held back only by Elton John and Earth, Wind & Fire. It topped Cashbox for 1 week and nudged the album It'll Shine When It Shines into the top 40. Canada pushed the song to number 1. The UK barely noticed, stalling at number 107. At a London show the following year, someone yelled, "Who is Jackie?" The band played the song and left the mystery intact.
Like playing music that you never seen.
Number 5, Love is the Drug, Roxy Music, 1975 in the UK, 1976 in the US.
Take no big thing to wait for the bell to ring.
Brian Ferry scribbled the lyric during late-night Soho walks, aiming for casual pickup meets film noir. The band tracked it at Air Studios London, August 1975. Bassist John Gustafson locked in that stalking line on a Fender Jazz, run hot through an Ampeg SVT, while drummer Paul Thompson kept the hi-hat sizzling so hard the overhead mics distorted. Producer Chris Thomas left the grit in. Phil Manzanera punched rhythm chops on a black Les Paul Custom, then stacked a wah solo that ducked into Ferry's vocal like a side street deal. Island issued the single in Britain on the 26th of September 1975, and it cruised to number 2 by mid-October, blocked only by David Essex.
It's the drug, but it won't be.
Billboard called it sleek art rock with a funk handle. ADCO mailed U.S. promos on the 31st of December 1975. WMMS Cleveland and WNEW-FM New York bit first. By the 10th of April 1976, the record reached number 30 on the Hot 100. Roxy Music's only American Top 40 appearance, though they cracked up more than a dozen Top 40 hits back home in the UK. While topping college radio polls for song most likely to make dorm corridors smell like clove cigarettes. The groove outlived the chart run. Early New York DJs beat mixed it into nascent disco sets. Grace Jones later based her 1980 cover on that same rubber band bass. Original ATCO promo 45s list the B-side as Sphinx, but most jocks flipped only to cue the breathy count-off that still makes dance floors snap awake 4 decades on.
Lace in the singer's bar, face to face, toe to toe.
Number 6, Run Joey Run, David Geddes, 1975.
Joey run, Joey run.
David Geddes had already quit music for law school in Ann Arbor when writer-producer Paul Vance phoned with a teenage tragedy script that played like West Side Story in 3 minutes. Geddes hopped a red-eye to Newark, cabbed to House of Music Studios in West Orange, and cut the vocal on the 24th of May 1975. Gear was basic, a Shure SM7, a single take, and Vance's daughter Paula, age 14, adding the whispered, "Daddy, please don't," from a stepladder so her voice would line up with Geddes' mic height. Vance kept the arrangement lean, Fender Rhodes, tambourine on every second beat, and a dobro lick for the truck door slam just before the gunshot sound effect. Actually, a kick drum gated tight.
Close my eyes, I can't erase the memory.
Big Tree pressed white label promos on the 30th of June 1975. CKLW Detroit spun it first, followed by WLS Chicago. Call-in demand pushed the single to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 by the 11th of October, moving roughly 900,000 U.S. copies in 10 weeks. In Canada, it peaked at number 3. The UK release scraped only to number 41. British listeners seemed less keen on parental gunfire. Geddes finished his JD anyway, joking that the song's royalties paid bar exam fees twice over. For years, Top 40 flashback shows introduced Run Joey Run as the last big death disc, though nobody in the story actually says Joey dies. Big Tree's first pressing came in a cream sleeve stamped promo copy, destroy after airplay. Most DJs ignored the order, and those scarce sleeves now fetch decent money among collectors who still know every dramatic chord change by heart.
Please don't, it wasn't his fault. He means so much to me.
Number 7, Poetry Man, Phoebe Snow, 1975.
You're hiding something sweet. Please give it to me.
Yeah, 1975 had its screaming guitars and arena shakeups. But FM radio was softening around the edges. Stations slipped in folk, jazz, and easy glide soft rock, tracks that didn't roar but stuck with you just the same. Some of these one-hit wonders cruised that mellow lane, spinning right alongside Paul Simon, Steely Dan, and Cat Stevens on the same late-night playlists. Phoebe Snow cut the song at A&R Studios in New York during August 1974 sessions for her debut album. She played her own Guild acoustic, capo on the second fret, while jazz veterans Teddy Wilson Jr. on electric piano and Chuck Israels on upright bass built the mellow swing she wanted.
A giggling teenage crush, then I'm a sultry man.
More Sidewalk Cafe than Coffee House, she told producer Dino Arley. Cornet player Ralph McDonald added the Lazy Day horn glide in a single overdub. Engineer Phil Ramone left a little chair squeak in the right channel because Phoebe said it felt like somebody shifting for a better listen. Shelter Records shipped the single on the 11th of January, 1975. WNEW-FM New York spun it first on a Sunday morning, phones lighting up with callers asking, "Who's the new folk jazz girl?" Top 40 stations followed after Billboard's Adult Contemporary chart showed it moving fast. On the 19th of April, the track peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on AC, with U.S. sales pushing past 700,000 by summer. Snow, then 24 and juggling club dates with the care of her special needs infant daughter Valerie, turned down an offer to open arena shows. "You can't tuck a baby in from a Holiday Inn," she told Rolling Stone. Grammy nominations came that fall, but Phoebe never landed another Pop Top 40. Still, Poetry Man kept her on late-night FM playlists and in Paul Simon's circle. He asked her to sing on Gone at Last the same year. Original Shelter Orange Label singles list the running time as 4 minutes 38 seconds. DJs who tried to fade early found listeners ringing the request line to complain they'd missed the final cornet sigh.
Things are right.
Number 8, Third Rate Romance, The Amazing Rhythm Aces, 1975.
They talked at all, they both knew what they wanted.
Singer-guitarist Russell Smith scribbled the story on a Shoney's placemat outside Muscle Shoals in late 1974. Cheap wine, a diner waitress, and a motel that smelled of fried chicken grease. The Aces booked Sam Phillips' recording in Memphis on the 12th of March, 1975. Barry "Bird" Burton tracked the sly lead on a battered 58 Les Paul Custom straight into a Fender Twin turned just low enough to dodge tube rattle. Producer Tom Dowd mixed Smith's vocal with a slap echo that makes every line feel whispered across a Formica tabletop. ABC Records serviced the single on the 12th of June, 1975. WLAC Nashville jumped first, followed by WLS Chicago and CKLW Detroit. The tune's easy shuffle let it ride 3 different charts at once. Number 14 on the Hot 100, number 11 Country, and number 7 Adult Contemporary by the 23rd of August. Across the border, RPM's country list took it to number 1, while the pop side parked it at number 5. Australian radio nudged it to number 20 before programmers realized the lyric name checks cheap boxed wine instead of surfboards. The single moved about 700,000 U.S. copies and nudged the debut LP Stacked Deck into the Billboard 200 Top 20. Smith liked to say third-rate romance pays second-rate bills, but the track's after-hours groove still spins on bar jukeboxes that know their patrons can't afford first-class heartbreak. Original ABC promo 45s carry the subtitle Hot Night in Dixie, a line ABC quietly dropped on later pressings after some northern stations balked.
Got in his car and they drove away.
Number 9, Wildfire, Michael Murphy, 1975.
So by the dark of the moon I planted.
Murphy got the idea on a snowy night at his Colorado ranch in 1973 when a wrangler swore he'd seen a ghost horse pacing the fence line. He and producer Bob Johnson cut the track at Ray Stevens Studio A in Nashville on the 11th of December 1974. Session ace Hargus Pig Robin set the mood with that chiming tack piano intro. Guitarist John Clonch doubled the main melody on a nylon string borrowed from the lounge. Murphy whistled the hook on a 99-cent plastic recorder. They tried replacing it with flute, decided the cheap whistle felt more lonesome, and left it. Epic shipped the single on the 17th of March 1975. WSM Nashville and KNUS Dallas added it first. By the 7th of June, the song was sitting at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on Adult Contemporary. 1 million U.S. singles sold by midsummer earned an RIAA gold disc. The label framed the certificate in weathered barnwood for Murphy's ranch office. Canada pushed the record to number 2. The UK release, sold mostly in import bins, peaked at number 30. Blue Sky Night Thunder hit platinum on the strength of Wildfire, and Murphy still closes shows with that whistle, telling crowds, cheapest special effect on tour. Original Epic Orange Label 45s list the running time as 4 minutes 45 seconds. DJs who faded early got caller complaints about missing the final hoarfrost line.
Get the heart
Number 10, Black Superman, Muhammad Ali, Johnny Wakelin, 1975.
Muhammad Ali, he floats like a butterfly, stings like a...
Brighton songwriter Johnny Wakelin watched Ali's Rumble in the Jungle win on a pub TV and scribbled a reggae-tilted tribute the next morning. Producer Robin Blanchflower booked Pi Studio 2 London in February 1975, pulling in a rhythm crew fresh off a Matumbi session. Bassist Val Douglas locked a laid-back groove, guitarist Tony Washington added the skank chords, and Wakelin recorded the vocals straight through, ad-libbing Catch Me If You Can on the fly. Pi released the single in the UK on the 6th of June 1975. BBC Radio 1 spun it during Saturday Sport. 2 weeks later, it hit number 7 on the singles chart.
On Muhammad Ali, he fills the arena.
London Records mailed U.S. promos on the 5th of September with a sleeve photo of Ali mid-jab. R&B stations in Detroit and Chicago liked the groove. Top 40 programmers followed, and by the 17th of January 1976, the cut reached number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 10 on Cashbox. Ali himself invited Wakelin to meet him at a New York charity dinner. Press photos showed the champ pretending to punch the singer while holding the gold 45 plaque. Follow-up single in Zaire charted modestly in Europe but missed U.S. radio, leaving Black Superman as Wakelin's lone American hit. Original London white label promos carry a note, "Play loud, Ali style." Most station copies now live in sports bar jukeboxes, ready to roll whenever a patron wants 3 minutes of a rope-a-dope swagger set to a sunny reggae shuffle.
Watch me shuffle and I jab off your head.
Number 11, Rocky, Austin Roberts, 1975.
She was shy and had a beard of things she did not know.
Songwriters Woody P. Snow and Ron Chancey pitched this three-tissue plot, boy meets girl, fast wedding, sudden illness, to several Nashville singers before Austin Roberts. Fresh off the Scooby-Doo cartoon theme, said, "I'll give it a shot." Producer Bob Montgomery booked Creative Workshop on the 28th of March, 1975. Roberts sang through a warm-sounding Electro Voice RE15, while a session band kept things simple. Nylon string guitar, brushed snare, Fender Rhodes, and a vibraphone that rings like a lullaby every time the story darkens.
God knows if the world should end, your love is safe for me.
Private Stock shipped the single on the 2nd of May, 1975. WHN New York spun it 3 times opening night. By the 4th of October, the record sat at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 10 on Adult Contemporary, moving about 850,000 U.S. copies in 16 weeks. Canada's RPM chart pushed it to number 6. In Britain, where sad songs traditionally do well, it climbed to number 2 on the 8th of November, delaying Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody by 1 week. Roberts never returned to the top 40, but radio engineers still use Rocky to check compressor warmth. If the vibraphone sounds tinny, you roll back the high band and start over.
One more, and she said, Rocky, I've never had a baby before.
Number 12, Never Been Any Reason, Head East, 1975.
Did you see any action? Did you make any friends?
The Illinois Quintet tracked its calling card at Golden Voice Studios, South Pekin, 16th of February, 1975. Keyboard man Roger Boyd ran a mini-moog into a Maestro phase shifter for that swirling laser intro, then stacked a second synth an octave higher because, in mid-70s rock, more oscillators solved everything except gas prices. Vocals tag-teamed. Drummer Steve Houston handled the verses, singer John Schlitt took the skyscraper chorus. Producer Mark Stebbins mixed the 2 parts so tight, the handoff feels like a driver's ed double clutch.
In circles, since I've been able to cry.
A&M pressed just 5,000 copies of the LP, Flat as a Pancake, for Midwestern stores in February. St. Louis powerhouse KSHE 95 wore out the album track by spring, prompting A&M to carve a 3 minutes 29-second single and ship it nationwide on the 23rd of July, 1975. The record stalled at number 102 on Billboard's Bubbling Under list. Close enough for bragging rights. Far enough to keep Head East a textbook one-hit wonder. Regional demand, though, was huge. Missouri and Illinois outlets reordered until the album went gold by 1978, financed almost entirely by flyover airwaves and keg party cassette dubs. Never Been Any Reason lives on as the Midwestern bar band national anthem. Count how many cover groups still try to nail Schlitt's final scream at closing time. Original A&M promo 45s list the running time at 3 minutes 29 seconds. DJs who flipped to the 5-minute album cut discovered a bonus Moog break, perfect for stretching last call headbangs another 30 seconds.
Never been any reason.
So that's about it. Which 75 stray still pops into your head uninvited? Drop the title below and cue us for the next video.